Hello, everyone, and welcome back to World of English.
Hey everyone, Ali here. Ina, good morning.
Good morning, Ali. How was your morning? Did you have a good breakfast?
Honestly, my morning was a little strange. I had bread and cheese, so the food was good, but I had a small problem with my neighbor.
Oh no, what happened?
Well, he was telling me about his new job, and I wanted to say that I pay attention to him, but I said, I hear you, and he looked confused. Then he said, Of course you hear me, I am standing right here.
Oh, I understand. That is a very common confusion for English learners.
Really? So I wasn't wrong?
You were not wrong, but you used the wrong word for what you wanted to say, and that is exactly our topic today.
Wait, are we going to talk about hear and listen?
Yes, today's special topic is hear versus listen, how to use them correctly in daily English conversation.
Oh, I need this lesson so much. I have made this mistake many times. Sometimes people think I am being rude, but I just don't know the right word.
Don't worry, Ali. By the end of today's episode, you will never confuse them again, and our listeners won't either.
That would be amazing.
But before we start the lesson, can we ask our listeners for a small favor?
Of course.
To everyone listening right now, if this podcast helps you learn English, please do 3 small things for us. First, give this video a like. That tells YouTube that our content is useful and more people can find us.
Second, subscribe to World of English if you haven't already. We make new episodes every week to help you speak naturally and confidently.
And third, share this episode with one friend or family member who is also learning English. Learning together is much easier and more fun.
Exactly. Helping us means helping others learn too. So please, take 1 second to hit that like button.
Thank you, dear listeners. Now, Ollie, let me ask you something. When you said, I hear you to your neighbor, what did you actually want to say?
I wanted to say that I was paying attention to his words, that I cared about what he was saying.
Perfect. And that is exactly the difference. Hear and listen are not the same. One is automatic and one is a choice.
Automatic versus choice. Okay, I'm listening now.
Good use of listening. All right, let's dive into Chapter 2 and learn the difference together. Welcome back. So, Ollie, let's start with the first word, hear.
Okay, I know here it's about ears and sounds.
Exactly. But here is the important part. When you hear something, you do not choose to hear it. The sound comes to you automatically.
Automatically? Like without thinking?
Yes. Close your eyes for a moment.
Okay, they're closed.
What do you hear right now?
I hear my own breathing. I hear a car outside. And I think I hear a bird somewhere far away.
Perfect. Did you try to hear those sounds?
No, they were just there. I didn't ask the bird to sing.
Exactly. That is hear. Hear is passive. It means sounds enter your ears without effort. You cannot stop your ears from hearing. Your ears are always open.
So when I wake up in the morning and I hear my alarm, I didn't choose that sound.
Exactly. Your alarm forces you to hear it. Here are some simple examples. Slowly and clearly. I can hear someone talking in the other room. Did you hear the thunder last night? She heard a strange noise and felt scared.
Okay, I understand the idea. Let me try. Thinking. This morning I heard my neighbor's dog barking.
Perfect sentence. Did you want to hear the dog?
No, not at all. I was sleeping. The sound came to me.
That is 100% correct. So here's the simple rule. Hear equals sound comes to you. You do nothing.
That's easy to remember. Sound comes to me, I hear.
Yes. Now, what about the opposite? What if you want to hear a sound on purpose?
Oh, that's different. That's when I choose to pay attention.
And that, my friend, brings us to our next word, listen.
I'm ready. But before we go to Chapter 3, can I ask our listeners something?
Of course.
Yes. To everyone listening right now, close your eyes for 5 seconds. What do you hear? Write one thing in the comments, just one sound that comes to you without trying.
That is a great exercise. Okay, let's move to Chapter 3 and learn about listen. All right, Ollie. Now let's talk about listen. How is it different from hear?
You said hear is automatic, so listen must be on purpose?
Exactly. Listen is active. When you listen, you choose to pay attention. You focus your brain on the sound.
So hear uses my ears, but listen uses my brain and attention?
That is a perfect way to say it. Hear equals ears only. Listen equals ears plus brain plus attention.
Oh, so when I told my neighbor, I hear you, I was only saying that his voice entered my ears, but I wanted to say that my brain was paying attention to his words.
Now you understand. You should have said, I am listening to you.
I am listening to you. Why do we add the word to?
Great question. This is a very common mistake. In English, we always say listen to someone or something.
Listen to. Okay.
Let me give you examples. Please listen to the teacher. I love listening to Quran recitations. Are you listening to me?
So I cannot say listen music or listen me.
No, that is wrong. Always listen to plus the thing or person.
Listen to music, listen to my friend, listen to the news. Got it.
Perfect. Now let's compare hear and listen side by side. Ready?
Ready.
I hear music from the neighbor's house. I didn't choose it. The sound comes to me. I am listening to Quran. I chose it. I am focusing my attention.
The difference is so clear now.
One more. Can you hear me? Are my sounds reaching your ears? Are you listening to me? Is your brain paying attention to my words?
Wow, that is powerful. My neighbor was confused because I answered the wrong question. He asked for my attention, but I said yes to my ears.
Exactly. And that is why people can feel hurt. When someone says, you are not listening to me, they mean your brain is not with me.
That makes so much sense. Okay, let me practice. Thinking, every morning I listen to the news while I eat breakfast.
Beautiful sentence. You chose to pay attention to the news.
And when my wife calls my name from the kitchen, I hear her voice, but if I am busy with my phone, I am not listening to her.
That is a very honest example, and I'm sure many listeners can relate.
So now I understand the difference. But Inna, how do I use these in real conversation? What if someone asks me, are you listening? And I'm not.
That is a great question for our next chapter. Let's do some role play and practice real situations. Welcome back. Now let's do something fun. Let's practice using hear and listen in a real conversation.
I love role plays.
Okay, imagine we are sitting in a busy cafe. There's coffee, there are people talking, and there's music playing softly.
Okay, I can see it, so there are many sounds.
Exactly. I will be your friend sitting across the table. You will be you. Let's start. In role play voice. Allie, can you hear that strange noise from the kitchen?
In roleplay voice, yes, I hear it. It sounds like something falling.
Good. You used hear correctly. The sound came to you. Now I want to tell you something important. Pauses. Allie, are you listening to me?
In roleplay voice, yes, I am listening to you. What is it?
Perfect. You used listening to with the object, me. Now here's the important news. I am moving to a new apartment next month.
What? Really? I am listening. Tell me everything.
Laughs and breaks roleplay. Excellent. Did you notice something, Allie?
I noticed that every time I wanted to show attention, I used listen to, and every time I talked about random sounds, I used hear.
You are learning fast. Now let me show you a very common mistake. Allie, finish this sentence. I love to blank to Quran in the morning.
I love to listen to Quran in the morning. Easy.
Correct. Now try this one without to. I love to listen Quran.
Confused. That sounds wrong. It feels like something is missing.
Because something is missing. Many learners say listen music or listen teacher by mistake, but the correct form is always listen to.
So I should imagine a small 2 living next to every listen?
Yes, keep two in your pocket and take it out every time you say listen. Now, let me make the mistake on purpose. Ready?
Ready.
Pretending to be a learner. Yesterday, I listened a new lecture. It was very good.
Oh, that is wrong. You should say I listened to a new lecture.
Exactly. You caught the mistake. Now you will never make it yourself.
I hope not.
Now, let's do a quick practice for our listeners at home. I will say 3 sentences, and you and the listeners will decide, is this hear or listen?
Okay.
Sentence 1. Every morning I blank the adhan from the mosque.
That is hear, because the sound comes to you. You don't force the adhan to happen.
Correct. Sentence 2. Please blank carefully to the instructions.
Listen, because you are asking someone to pay attention.
Perfect. Sentence 3. Did you blank what I said?
This is tricky. If you're asking about my ears, hear. If you're asking about my attention, listen. But the sentence doesn't have to, so it must be hear.
Brilliant. Did you hear what I said? Means did the sounds reach your ears? Did you listen to what I said? Means did you pay attention to the meaning? Both are correct, but they ask different questions.
I feel so much more confident now.
Good. But what happens if you hear someone but you don't want to listen? That's a real-life situation we all face. Let's talk about that in Chapter 5. Welcome back to World of English. So, Allie, we learned the difference between hear and listen, but let's talk about real life.
You mean what actually happens when people talk to us?
Exactly. For example, what if you hear someone talking but you don't want to listen? Maybe you're busy, tired, or just not interested.
Oh, that happens to everyone, right? But how do I say that politely? I don't want to be rude.
Great question. Let me give you some polite phrases for that situation. If someone is talking and you cannot pay attention, you can say, I hear you, but I need a moment to focus on something else right now. Or, I can hear you, but I am not able to listen carefully at the moment. Or, can we talk a little later? I want to listen to you, but right now I am busy.
Oh, I like the third one. It shows respect. You are saying, I want to listen, but you need a different time.
Exactly. The key is to be honest but kind. Now, what if someone asks you directly, are you listening to me?
That feels like a serious question. Maybe they're upset.
Yes, if someone asks that, they feel ignored. Here are good responses. Yes, I am listening. Please continue, if you really are listening. Or, I'm sorry, I was distracted. Can you please say that again? I am listening now. Honest and respectful. Or, I hear you, but I am having trouble focusing. Can we talk in 5 minutes?
So it's okay to admit that I was not listening?
It is better to admit it than to pretend. Pretending is worse. People know when you are not really listening.
That is true. I can always tell when someone's eyes are looking at their phone, not at me.
Exactly. Listening is not just ears, it's also your eyes, your body language, your attention.
Okay, what about the opposite? What if I want someone to listen to me carefully? How do I ask for that?
Good question. Here are polite ways to ask for someone's attention. Can I have your attention for a moment? Or, are you listening? This is important. Or, please listen carefully to what I am about to say.
And what if I want to check if someone heard me, not if they listened?
Then you ask, did you hear what I said? That is a simple check. Did the sound reach your ears?
I see. So, did you hear me is about the sound. Were you listening is about the attention and respect.
Perfect summary. Now, Allie, can you share a real situation where you needed these phrases?
Yes, last week my son was telling me a long story about his day at school. I was cooking and thinking about work. He stopped and said, "Dad, you are not listening to me."
Oh no, what did he say?
I said, "I'm sorry. I hear your voice, but my brain is thinking about work. Can you start again? I will put down the spoon and listen properly."
That was a perfect response. Honest, kind, and you fixed the problem.
And he smiled and told me the whole story again. And this time I really listened.
That is beautiful. See, these words are not just grammar. They are about relationships. They are about respect.
I never thought about it that way. Hear and listen are actually very important words for being a good person.
They really are. Now, let's quickly review everything we learned today before we finish. Welcome back to the final chapter of today's lesson. Allie, let's do a quick speed round. I will say a sentence, and you tell me, is it hear or listen?
I'm ready. My brain is warmed up.
Sentence 1. I can blank someone knocking on the door.
Here. The sound comes to me. I didn't invite the knock.
Correct. Sentence 2. Please blank to the announcement carefully.
Listen, because it needs attention and the word to is there.
Perfect. Sentence 3. Did you blank the news this morning?
This could be both, but without to, it's probably here. So, here?
Correct again. Did you hear the news means did the information reach your ears? Now, last one. She blank to her favorite podcast every evening.
Listens, because it's active, on purpose, and has to, listens to.
Excellent. You got them all right. Now, let me give everyone the golden rule one more time.
Please do.
Hear equals automatic, passive, no effort, no choice. Sounds come to you. Listen equals active, intentional, with effort, with choice. You focus your attention. Remember, listen plus to plus object. Never say listen me or listen music alone.
And here never takes to. You cannot say here to me.
Exactly. So simple, but so powerful.
Ina, I have to say, before this lesson, I used these words randomly. Now I feel confident. Thank you.
You did the work, Allie. And to all our listeners, you also did the work today. Give yourself a small clap or a smile.
Yes, learning English is a journey, and you are moving forward every day.
Now, before we say goodbye, we have a small challenge for you.
Ooh, I love challenges.
Here is your task. Go to the comments section and answer this question. What is a sound you love to listen to, and what is a sound you often hear but do not want to hear?
Oh, that is a great question. For me, I love to listen to my children's laughter, and I hate to hear the sound of my alarm clock early in the morning.
I agree with both. For me, I love to listen to rain falling at night, and I often hear construction noise from my neighbor's house, and I do not want to hear it.
See, listeners, it's easy. Just write your answer in the comments. We read every single comment.
Yes, we do. Your answers help us create better lessons for you, and you can also practice your English writing.
So please take 1 minute after this episode ends and write your answer.
And if you found this episode helpful, please share it with one friend who is also learning English.
That is the best way to support us and help others.
All right, Allie, time to say goodbye.
It was a wonderful episode. Thank you for listening, everyone. Keep practicing, and don't forget, use your ears to hear, but use your brain to listen.
That is a beautiful closing line. I couldn't say it better myself. Thank you for being here. We will see you in the next episode of World of English.
Take care, everyone.
Bye for now.